All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. We are looking at a pretty good market today. If we filter here by market cap, we are looking at 70,000 plus on the Bitcoin price. And, we saw this little bit of a retrace in the markets, but it has got bought up pretty quickly. A nice start to the week here on Monday in the markets. But today, I'm going to go over a couple of altcoins that I have my eyes on this week. Some are already making major moves, and we gave you the plays when the market was bleeding a bit. But at the same time, I'm going to let you know where I think the liquidity is moving. And I do think that the gaming narrative is going to heat up even more in the coming week. I will go over each of those catalysts and why I believe gaming is going to be in the forefront here, as a lot of other narratives have been getting a lot of the hype. This market surge today, we've seen a lot of green across the gaming space. What coins can you look for to make major moves this week? We'll go over that and more. Without further ado, let's get in the game. And as always, guys, be sure drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe for more every single day here on In the Game. We're pushing for that 100,000 mark. Bitcoin's giving us a challenge today, back up at 70, but we're trying to beat Bitcoin to 100,000. So subscribe down below for all of the crypto gaming alpha across the space as well. Shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. The list has gotten so incredibly long, but we have amazing partners here: Vulcan Forge, Ultra, Dreams Quest, Game Starter. We have Uncaged, NordVPN, My Lovely Planet, Africa Rare. We have Linea, we have Pika Moon, we have Reality Metaverse, Moon Tropica. The list goes on, and we're going to go over more of those sponsors at the end of the show, but check down below because the list, like I said, is pretty long at this point in time, so I'm not going to rattle them off, but at the same time, check those out in the link in the description for more on all of our sponsors. Let's take a look at the market currently. I mean, an 8% move almost today on Bitcoin, which is pretty crazy to see. Obviously, 8% on altcoins, it's like, yeah, that's nothing. But on Bitcoin, that's a pretty substantial move. And, the market's reacting pretty well to the Bitcoin surge here. We have a lot of green across some altcoins. And look, I genuinely, we said that this would happen. These shakeouts in the bull market are real. Like, we did see a 10% pullback, right, from 73 to the mid 60s. And we even got to the low 60s. And it's really trying to shake you out of your positions. In a bull run, there's always going to be certain points in time that try to shake you out of your positions. And, on In the Game last show, for example, it's like, signs that a bull market is collapsing. But at the same time, if you watch the show, you would know that I was very bullish on buying at that time period, right? And there were so many quality buys. If we look across the market right now on the 24-hour, there are so many of our favorite altcoins here in the green. And we'll go over that here in just a second. But here's why I think gaming is in the narrative right now. So this week, I tweeted this right before I came on the show here. This week, gaming tokens are going to find that next leg up, as the narrative is firmly in gaming hands. And I truly believe that. We have the post-GDC hype, which, projects like Shrapnel, like Avalanche, so many gaming projects, all of my friends in the space were out in San Francisco, and the amount of alpha and the amount of just eyes and attention that are on Web3 gaming right now, it's absolutely phenomenal to see. And the normies, like the Web2 gamers are starting to pick up traction on why Web3 gaming has legs in the future. We have IMX and Polygon with their $100 million fund. If you didn't check this out, they announced the 𝗵𝗫𝗍𝗍𝗔𝗍𝗔𝗓 Fund, a $100 million initiative with Polygon and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is focused entirely on Web3 games. So we have a $100 million fund coming through the door this week for Web3 gaming. We have multiple IDOs and TGEs this week, which, if you're unfamiliar, we've been talking about these, and I will always try to give you the alpha on the upcoming token launches. But just this week, we have Gaiman, we have BitBrawl, which is on the 28th, which I'm really looking forward to as well. So we have Gaiman on the 26th. This is trading OTC at a multi-billion-dollar market cap. So I think this one's going to absolutely crush it whenever it goes live. We have BitBrawl here, which is on the 28th. This is like the Super Smash Bros. Of Web3 gaming, a really solid team here. I would definitely have your eyes on this project. We have Block Games, which is coming out with their public sale, their pre-sale of their token here in less than 24 hours. So as you see here, it's going to go on for 48 hours, 15% unlock, 6-month clipped, and a 15-month daily linear vest. So if you're looking to get involved here, this is for dice holders. This is for different types of holders and people who have engaged with the ecosystem over time. We have Arcade to Earn, which is coming to market here pretty soon. We have Play versus X, which is selling out all of their IDOs as well. So it's been pretty awesome to see quality projects hitting the market. So a lot of IDOs, a lot of new tokens hitting the market, and the success on these new tokens has been absolutely phenomenal. We have Portal and Dota. And if you guys missed this, they are doing the Portal Dota 2 World Invitational. So Portal becomes one of the first next-gen organizations to enter an esports activation with a mainstream esports titan like Dota 2. So, no matter what people think of Portal from an outside perspective, they are mastering a marketing masterclass whenever they came to market. But at the same time, they're clearly doing a lot to, be in the narrative, and seemingly so. Their team is very well connected. They're putting together these big events. And I think this is really good for Web3 gaming in general. And then we have everyone playing Ponzi games again. So if you missed this on the timeline this week, we have people, this is like it's on blast. This is like the DeFi kingdoms of the Blast blockchain right now. So it's called Crypto Valleys. I degened a little bit, but not too much. I'm OG. I used to play the Ponzi games like crazy. I played DeFi kingdoms, all the token go up like crazy and then crash because of no sustainability. So absolutely not telling you to go get involved with this. But, right now, Web3 gaming is seemingly so back. And what are some of the altcoins that you should be looking at in this market? I mean, first and foremost, 𝗨𝗏 and Senate. Look, I heard the comments down below. I heard them. All right. I know that people were really bummed whenever Senate took a big plummet after they basically didn't get much utility out of the launch pad. If you look at the week, it's up 84%. I mean, this was the easiest trade, guys. We went down to 10 cents, 9 cents even. And if we look at the 1-year chart, you can see why people were upset here. It got up to 30 cents. And then it took a plummet because seemingly the utility for Senate just wasn't showing itself at that point in time. But now we've seen a massive move over the week, 84%. This was one of the easiest trades you could have made. We were saying to buy up Senate at those low prices as well. And then 𝗨𝗏, 𝗨𝗏 is running. So guess what? 𝗨𝗏 is up 120% on the week. So it's literally doubled just this week, which is crazy. And then Senate is up 84%. Some really nice moves there whenever it comes to the 𝗨𝗏 ecosystem. And when we take a look, they're actually doing a collaboration here, 𝗨𝗏 as well as Gaiman, which we just talked about. So these are like, you can jump in here. You can win a $5,000 pool in 𝗨𝗏 tokens for 20 lucky users. So you can go check that out as well. But more importantly, I think people overlook that the Senate token governs the whole ecosystem. And that's why it was such a good trade. And I'm still very convicted on both the 𝗨𝗏 and Senate tokens. As we see here, major 𝗨𝗏 burn event. They're going to be doing a proposal where they're burning a major batch of 𝗨𝗏 tokens. But at the same time, you have to hold Senate to be able to vote. So very key utility across the ecosystem here for something like Senate in the 𝗨𝗏 ecosystem. Mantra, this one's one I really haven't talked about much. I think this one's a really strong project, kind of like Entangle. I feel like this one has a lot of layers to it that could do really well, and this one's been ripping over the weekly as well. We have Dubs taking a 17% gain. We have Champs, which has been on a roll recently, up 64%. We have 𝗙𝗲𝘅, we mentioned was one of the best buys on the Friday show as well. 𝗙𝗲𝘅's up 51% this week. So what are some other ones that I think are A, loading up for a big move, and B, are still great positions to take? Now, once again, also, I see the comments, all right? And a lot of people are like, well, you talk about the same tokens. And of course I talk about the same tokens, because if I was to give you guys new crap all the time, something's going to go to zero. There's going to be rug pulls. There's going to be this and that. I focus and consolidate on quality projects. And that's how we've won in this market, from the bottom all the way to where we are now. And I'm going to keep with that, all right? And whenever there was red days, of course, there was 15, 20 projects that were, great DCAs. As of today, when everything's basically in the green, there's going to be less good DCAs on the table. So you have to be able to pick and choose. Like when people are fearful, when people are saying that the market is going to take a plummet and we're the run's over type of thing, that's when you should be buying. And that's the kind of sentiment we saw last week. So that's why we were stacking up our positions and DCAing our favorite projects. But today, it's harder to pick and choose. But when you look across the market, I think there are some really good opportunities. Number one, I think Creo Engine is a pretty good DCA as of today. It's not moving with the market really. It's actually in the red for the day. But if you look at the market cap, 49 million, 160 million on the fully diluted. This one, I just feel like this is a slept on project. And kind of like our sponsor, Moon Tropica, their community is just so like loyal, like almost like a cult community. You know what I mean? And that does matter. Like the people that are really bought into this project absolutely love what they're doing. And if you take a look, they come out with so many different updates. They're holding an AMA with Neo Tokyo this week. They're doing some stuff with BNB chain. I don't want to speculate, but if Creo ever got listed on the Binance exchange, this thing is going to absolutely rocket. And when you see here, they're partnered up with some of our favorite games, Katana Inu, which we absolutely love. Katana Inu. It's actually one of my favorite low market cap individual game tokens. You can actually come in here and jump into these different games right on the Creo platform. So it's kind of like an infrastructure marketplace, different type of a launcher for games, if you will. And you can see they have Meme Lords, they have Cypher Odyssey. So a lot of games that are, pretty familiar to those who are around the space. MetaFighter as well. We've talked about MetaFighter in the past. So they have a good stack of games here listed on Creo. I think that this one is a pretty good trade at this moment in time. I would not be surprised to see it catch up with the narrative as well. I think playable games. Look, playable games right alongside that Avalanche narrative. And Avalanche has been hot recently. We saw that MapleStory joined the Avalanche chain. Avalanche was definitely the biggest noise makers over at GDC. We got my Avalanche pillow hanging out with my Pudgy in the background. So look, I think that playable games at this 20 million market cap level is definitely a great DCA. And what also people have to understand, we've seen this with multiple tokens, okay? I want to make an example here. So a lot of people are worried that this has not been moving as aggressively as the rest of the market. But what people forget is when we got in this token, it was right here. There was 3 zeros and a 9, all right? This thing 10x'd at one point. It got to a cent. And now it has retraced quite a bit, but we're still up about 4x on our initial position. But at a $20 million market cap, I think there's so much more room to grow there. But I want to give a couple of examples that are very similar in price action, okay? Let's take a look here at 𝗣𝗏𝗏. 𝗣𝗏𝗏, during the most bullish periods of the market, has been kind of trading downward to sideways. But when you look at this yearly chart, it's up 574%. So it's going to slow down a bit. We're in that consolidation phase for a token like playable games. But I think with the Avalanche narrative being so in the lens, I think that this one is definitely a great accumulation at this point in time. As well, on the Avalanche lens, Shrapnel. Shrapnel, if we look, it did just get back up to almost 40 cents just a few days ago. This is 2 weeks ago. It got back up to that 36, 37 cent level. And I have to say, like, the sentiment across GDC and across the gaming space, this is probably, like, as far as playable games go, no pun intended, because we just talked about playable in the last token that I'm looking at. But at the same time, I think that right now, this is one of the games that people are most excited play every single day. So like the game is starting to look polished. They're building in public, as they say, whenever it comes to, rolling out these different demos and betas. The gunplay has gotten so much better. The environments are actually starting to shape up, the textures, etc. So STX2 just came to a close. And all my friends, other content creators and players in the Web3 gaming space, they were playing this out at GDC this week, and everyone had amazing feedback. So for now, I'm looking at Creo, I'm looking at playable games, I'm looking at Shrapnel, but there's a couple others that are still pretty good DCAs. If you're looking across the space, I mean, hell of a trade on Senate. 𝗨𝗏𝗏. That was a big win for all the in the game people. I know that people were holding Senate. They were DCAing Senate at those lows. So that was a big win for the day. I think Honeyland is also looking pretty good. I know next time Solana springboards, it's definitely going to be one that, you know, kind of has a major move with it, because it's once again, it rallied to all-time highs, and now it's just finding its footing in that middle ground and consolidation period. So I think Honeyland looks good, as well as Decimated whenever it comes to the gaming side on Solana. But otherwise, look, today's one of those days we bask in the green, right? And we look at the market cap, we look at what's happening with Bitcoin currently above 70,000. This is where our positions, when everyone was selling, when everyone was saying that this runs over, you suckers, I'm leaving you in the dust because the market's over, you know, that's when we DCA. And that's when we made our, hey, look, I understand. I might talk about similar tokens a lot, but at the same time, that's how you win. I don't need to go find a DGen meme coin every day. That's not our style here on In the Game. So if you want someone like that who's going to give you uncredible tokens, you know, you can go find that. But we're going to consolidate our focus to the most quality. We're going to stack those positions when everyone thinks not to stack. And then we're going to make days like this where our portfolios are absolutely green. These are the days where we can sit back and relax and enjoy that we had that conviction during those downtimes and during those recent pullbacks. And then a quick shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. We have Reality Metaverse, which, look, I have to say, like, this is an amazing project when it comes to the fact that you can earn royalties for real world activities and real world locations across the world. It's a really unique project. They have the RMB staking as well, which is like a revenue share to the community instead of like the App Store kind of vibe. So I like that a lot as well. And if you actually, we got a couple of NFT things today. So free mint approaching for the Reality Metaverse project. So if you go, they have an 888 supply, very minimum supply, which is good. Usually that means good price action. But as we see here, they're pre-mint on their Twitter. So Reality Meta on Twitter, you can jump in here and you can look to win a whitelist spot for this mint. We have DreamQuest, who made a big update this last week. They actually just hired Sam Tolles, who is the president and head of media, former MGM, Gaia, Vimeo, Warner Music, and Paramount Pictures. Pretty big hire here for the DreamQuest team. I told you guys they're doing some pretty cool things with entertainment. So bringing in someone from Warner Music and Paramount Pictures definitely makes sense. I know some of the things they have around the corner. I'm really excited for the, you know, just the continuous updates that are coming out of DreamQuest. And then last but not least, a giveaway for you guys here in the description, link down below. Hit the Gleam link for Funtico. They're actually giving away a 𝗏𝗄𝗄 NFT brought to you by Funtico and In the Game, where you have the chance to win an exclusive 𝗏𝗄𝗄 NFT. So hit the Gleam link down below in the description, and you can actually compete to win an NFT right here on In the Game. So guys, great day in the markets. There is a few altcoins, like I mentioned, that I am eyeing at this moment in time. Shout out to anyone who DCA'd the lows on Senate, because that's the big winner of the day, in my opinion, based off the conviction or the lack of that people started to have. A big boost in the market whenever we look across the board. And I'm just excited to see where the gaming market goes, because like I mentioned, I think that this week has a lot of gaming catalysts that we could really look forward to. We will see if my thesis comes true. Be sure to like the video, subscribe down below, and I'll be back on Wednesday with another update. As always, play well, my friends.